This is one of my favorite things about IB. Now, as I was walking down Palm, you might have seen all the red surfboards. Now, one of the coolest things about Imperial Beach, of course, is it was just so easy for me to get out of my house, go walk out to the Silver Strand, and then just start running. And muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. That just doesn't happen anywhere else in San Diego. So you're exploring all your options on where to live in San Diego. You know you want to be somewhere coastal. North County isn't quite your shtick, and PB and La Jolla are a little bit too fast-paced for you. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of America's most southwesterly city in the continental US, Imperial Beach, one of the most overlooked and one of my favorite little beach communities. Let's go check it out. Now, one of the nice things about Imperial Beach is there's two ways of accessing it. You can either go down I-5 on the east side of the bay, or you can take Coronado if you want a more scenic route. Today, we're taking Coronado. And as you can see, you get some beautiful views of downtown, of the bay, of ships coming and going, of the naval bases, just everything San Diego's about, just coming this route. So that's one of the things I like about this. So if the 5 is backed up, or if you're just looking for that vacation vibe to get in the mood for the weekend or whatever, come via Coronado. And talking about Coronado, one of the great things about the location of Imperial Beach, especially for military or military contractors, is Coronado is right up the Silver Strand from Imperial Beach. And in Coronado, there are several major military Navy bases. So you have North Island Naval Air Station, and then a little bit further down, you have Naval Amphibious Base, Coronado. Then you go all the way down to the south end of the Strand, and practically in Imperial Beach is the Silver Strand Training Center, which we're gonna drive by in a minute. And then all the way in Imperial Beach, you have the 13th Street Naval Base, Naval Outlying Airfield, where a lot of helicopter pilots train for the Navy. You really are surrounded by military bases. So if you're getting stationed in Imperial Beach or Coronado, you really have access to pretty much all of the major military bases in San Diego from Imperial Beach fairly quickly. Now, one thing about Imperial Beach's location is it's kind of a cul-de-sac. The only reason you're going to be in Imperial Beach is if you're going to Imperial Beach, or if you're just trying to take a scenic drive down the Silver Strand and maybe up the bay. But for the most part, Imperial Beach is going to be your destination if you find yourself there. But another cool thing about being close to Coronado is all the amenities that Coronado offers are essentially yours by proximity. In addition to the Hotel del Coronado, which is super famous, and they got a cool sun deck and outdoor grassy area, s'mores on the beach, all sorts of cool activities, a skating rink in the winter. Coronado also has some of the best and most pristine beaches in the world. You also get things like concerts at Ferry Landing or in Spreckles Park in the summer. You get the farmers markets on Tuesdays, I think it is. Lots of cool little things about being close to such a cool little community. And right now we're driving down the Silver Strand Boulevard, so you have the ocean on one side and the bay on the other. And you can see across to the Navy bases. Now let's talk real quick about the elephant in the room when it comes to Imperial Beach, and that is the pollution from the Tijuana River. Sewage being dumped into the river and then being dumped out straight into the ocean. And this isn't just affecting Imperial Beach, it affects Coronado at times, and even as far north as Carlsbad. I mean, there's no peeing section in the pool, right? And this has been something that has been a bad mark on Imperial Beach's reputation for years because it's been associated with poop water. We're turning into Imperial Beach here really quick. So this is a great shopping center. You have Mio Sushi, you have IB Fitness, you got Big Kahuna's, you have Suncoast Market, you've got a dentist, you've got Giant Pizza King, all the basic essentials. Now real quick, back to the sewage issue. So in 2025, actually just last month, there was a big agreement signed between Mexico and the US, basically promising that we're going to cooperate together. The US is going to invest a huge amount of money into increasing the capacity of our sewage treatment plant on our side. And in Mexico, they're spending almost $100 million and expediting the improvement and repairs of their infrastructure. And that's going to allow them to properly process sewage without it overflowing and all the failed infrastructure dumping and flowing out to the ocean. And again, Imperial Beach has gotten the brunt of most of this reputation, but it's really something that affects everybody, all beachgoers up and down the coast in San Diego. So to see this fixed, not only is that huge for San Diego as a whole, but especially for Imperial Beach, it's going to be a blemish that's going to be finally having the chance of being removed. Now we're driving down Palm Ave right now. So you have Palm Ave on the north side and then Imperial Beach Boulevard on the south side, and those both go east and west for the full length of Imperial Beach. And those are kind of like, you know, the top area and then the bottom area. So we're walking on the street in Imperial Beach, and right now I'm at Palm, going west from 3rd Street. So from about Seacoast to 15th Street is about the borders of Imperial Beach. There's a little bit of a zigzag when you go out further east, but that's the main drag, if you will. You have Palm Ave on the north end and then Imperial Beach Boulevard on the southern end. There are houses and streets further north and south of those two parallel roads, but by and large, those are kind of like the north side and the south side of Imperial Beach. Now, like most beach communities, the closer you get to the beach, the more boutique, higher end, nicer areas you're going to find, especially as far as commercial restaurants and whatnot. But the cool thing about Imperial Beach is it's still got a lot of old Southern California charm. In fact, Imperial Beach's motto is classic Southern California, and it's something I think it lives up to. Now, out of most of the beach communities in Southern California, Imperial Beach has kind of been the last to bloom. Beginning in the early 2010s, around 2013, that started to shift when Marriott opened Pier South, their autograph collection hotel right on Seacoast. They spent $34 million on it, and that was kind of the inflection point when things started to change. Lots of kind of regional names started coming out. You got Pizza Port Brewing, you have Luigi's Pizzeria down the way, you have Mike Hess Brewing now and City Tacos, which I'll show you later. It's really turned around, but it's still kind of maintained that charm in a way for kind of being a small, classic Southern California city. All right, I'm continuing down Palm, passing Ocean Lane here, and you can see behind me Yo Plinkin. This is an iconic bar, old dive bar in Imperial Beach. It's been here since the 1800s, the building has. I don't know the exact history of the bar. I want to say it's something like 50 or 60 years old. Now, as I was walking down Palm, you might have seen all the red surfboards, the outlines behind me. Imperial Beach has a huge, deep surfing history, and it goes deep into its culture. In fact, right at the end of Palm here is the Spirit of Imperial Beach, this bronze statue to kind of commemorate that. And you can really see the surfing theme worked into all the details around the city. So you'll see the bus benches, the benches over by the beach, along the walkways here. Inside the concrete, they'll have different designs of surfing and beach themed stuff. There's a lot of character, a lot of thought, and a lot of pride in this little tiny community. And it's only got about 25,000, 26,000 people. So it's not huge. It's still got a lot of room for development, but it's still maintaining that kind of small town feel, which is what I love. Now, this place has come a long way since even when I lived here, as recently as 2018. And it's constantly improving. And one of the things I loved about it back then, and I even love more now, because it's grown and got more developed, is everything is so walkable. Everything is within a 5-6 minute walk or short bike ride. And it's enjoyable too. It's not strenuous. Everything is just all peachy. You're at the beach. You have the beach climate. You even have these outdoor workout areas. You have pull-up bars at a lot of different stations throughout the beach. And this is the Pier South Marriott Hotel I mentioned earlier. Ever since the Marriott opened up, there's been constant new things popping up here and there, just like Mike Hess right here. Mike Hess and City Tacos. Right by the beach. And they have outdoor activities, and I've seen live music here before. Good beer, good tacos. Good vibes overall. It's a cool place. Now check out that sand sculpture behind me for Mike Hess Brewing. That's another thing that Imperial Beach is big for. If surfing is number one, sandcastles are number two. You have annual, I think international sandcastle carving competitions in Imperial Beach. And in the past, the events would draw tens of thousands of people. I think it's called the Sun, Sea and Sand Festival, something like that. When they do have it, it's pretty cool. They have events for kids to compete and learn to carve sandcastles, and they have some of the most incredible things you could ever imagine could be built out of sand. Now, one of the coolest things about Imperial Beach, of course, is the Imperial Beach Pier. And it's one of the longest in California, and it's huge for fishing. There's a lot of surfers right around the pier. Surfers like this place. And the pier is just a really cool spot to take a walk, to get some fresh ocean air, or just take a walk all the way to the end of the pier and get a bite to eat at the Tin Fish. Over there, you can grab a beer, you can grab a bite and fish at the same time from the end of the pier, which is pretty cool. Another thing, I don't know if you can see here, but the view to downtown San Diego is incredible. It's one of the best out here. You get the Coronado Bridge right in front of the skyline, and you have the ocean of waves. It's really beautiful. Now, as far as the climate goes, I don't know if you can tell, but the clouds have kind of come and gone here and there several times since we've been down here. And many times you're going to have a constant marine layer down here. This is a coastal city, and so you get all of the same coastal weather that you're going to get most other places up and down the coast. But I kind of like it because on the hottest days of summer, you have this protection here. If you want to go inland, you get your inland sun. If you want to just kind of stay cool and get that more moderate temperature down here, you certainly have that here. And here behind me, you can see another new development that's going up. They're still finishing this one up and leasing the places out. It says there's going to be an ocean view restaurant here. You have the lifeguard station over here. Right now I'm walking down the seacoast and I'm heading towards the estuary, which is about 3 or 4 blocks that way. One thing they have here at the Pier Plaza is on Fridays they have the farmers market. I think it goes most of the year. Maybe it's only summer, but I believe it's most of the year. I think there's another one also at Veterans Park on Saturdays. Many times they'll host events down here. I was down here the other week and they had a Hess Fest. So Mike Hess Brewing Company hosted a fundraiser for charity down here. They've had Ironman, Super Frog, like the half Ironman. It goes between Coronado and Imperial Beach for the runs and the bikes. And there'll be all sorts of cool events down here. There was once, I think it was Switchfoot concert on the pier, and they often have 4th of July fireworks off the pier as well. Some years they skip, but it's a pretty common thing. Now, as far as amenities go, within the community, you don't have a big name shopping center. You do have Grocery Outlet, which is a newer development, last 5 or 10 years, up Palm Ave, around the 900 block of Palm. You have some smaller markets and restaurants around the area. But if you want to get Vaughn's, you're going to go a little bit further east, just before the highway. And then you have Target and all the other big name shopping, probably in closer proximity, a little bit further east in Chula Vista. Now, as I mentioned before, you do have the Naval Outlying Airfield down here where helicopter pilots train. So what you hear right now is going to be pretty common, at least Monday through Thursday, and not on holidays, but many days of the week. You're going to have helicopters flying overhead, but it shuts off at 11 p.m. most days. So, and it's not every single day. Now, as far as housing goes, you have quite a mix, just like many parts of San Diego. Early on, they built small bungalows, 1,000 square feet, little tiny huts, basically. And as these areas become more and more popular and become more and more gentrified, many of those will be torn down. They're building bigger homes, or 2, 3, 4 homes in some cases on those. And of course, the closer you get to the beach, the higher the density as well. You're going to have a mix of everything from custom built 3,000 square foot homes to small strip condo developments and townhome developments to multifamilies, or even a few houses with an ADU or 2 ADUs in the back. As far as food, most of the restaurants down here are going to be kind of small, local. There's a few chains, again, like Mike Hess, Pizza Port, Luigi's that I'm at right now. But for the most part, they're going to be pretty much small. Now, as far as pricing goes, It's still one of the more affordable beach communities in all of Southern California. And with that, the median price in general for a home is around just under $1 million right now. You could get something like a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,300 square foot townhome, not as new as the one behind me, within a few blocks of the beach for still in the $800,000 range. And you really can't get that in a lot of parts of San Diego. But down here, you can do that. And you'll see, like, here's a newer home right next to a little old bungalow, a few more old little bungalows with a newer development there. And that's really kind of the flavor around here, is old mixed with the new, a little bit of charm and character. In some cases, people just fix up the older ones, but for the most part, you're gonna expect to tear it down and build something bigger. A little bit further down, you have some areas where you have kind of row homes, townhomes, and that's kind of what I was talking about as far as that goes. If you want to get something under $1 million, but still have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, oftentimes even a 2-car garage, where you can hear the ocean waves at night when you go to sleep, you can't really ask for much more. In California, you're going to be hard pressed to find that for anything close to the prices you're still seeing in Imperial Beach. And just like in many parts of San Diego, a plan down here is to find one of these older homes, a bit smaller, needs some work. And in many cases, these things still have a little bit of yard space. And in many cases, you can throw in an ADU in your backyard and get supplemental income from that, help to finance your beach house down here right by the beach. There's definitely a lot of opportunities like that still here, which really makes it a standout beach city, if you ask me. And of course, if that's what you're looking for an experienced agent, especially in the local market, to help you find the best properties, make sure you're turning over all the stones, then give us a call. Hit us up. Imperial Beach is my old stomping grounds, and we'd love to talk, see how we can help you. And if this isn't the right neighborhood for you, maybe you want to find another one. That's our specialty, is helping people find their place in San Diego. Now, as far as restaurants go, down south on Seacoast, you got IB Forum, the most southwesterly bar restaurant in the United States. Then you have restaurants like the Brigantine. Katie's Cafe here is a great little spot. Some really good sandwiches, but they usually close down early. At Yale Plank Inn, you're gonna have some bar food, and it's a good place to shoot pool as well. You have Bonehead Burgers over here on Palm. A little bit further up, you got Siam Imperial. You have the new Pizza Port Brewing, Tapatio Mexican food. You got lots of little options. The further east you go, down Palm and IB Boulevard, you have more chain restaurants like Raising Cane's, Jersey Mike's. So lots of cool little good restaurants to pick up some good food at around here, but for the most part, they're pretty small. Now, I just got to the Tijuana Estuary Visitor Center, and I'm taking a little trail right from this area. And this is one of my favorite things about IB, is you have the San Diego Bay to the north, you have the Tijuana Estuary to the south, you have the ocean to the west. And the Tijuana Estuary is really a beautiful nature preserve. It's got a lot of endangered species, a lot of wildlife. All these are wetlands, and you have these little estuary rivers that run all through it. Something I love about the estuary is the air always seems so fresh. You have all this vegetation and the water and the vegetation filtering the water out, and so much wildlife out here. It's just a very peaceful place. Now, you do have the airfield for Naval Outlying Airfield right over there. So sometimes it gets a little bit loud and noisy with the helicopters overhead, but then you got times like right now where it's completely quiet. They have lots of trails that go in the middle on the north end, and then some that go over towards the south end. And if you leave IB, just a little bit to the southeast over there is the Tijuana River Regional Park. And that area, you have an equestrian area, you have trees, you have, I think, campgrounds, and it doesn't feel like you're near Imperial Beach or San Diego for that matter. There's a lot of farms over that way, local farms. So you're driving through like farmland. This is a couple miles away from here. And then you get down to the regional park and there's horses, and it's a really beautiful place. All right, now we're at the west end of Imperial Beach Boulevard at the art sign. I'm gonna take you all the way to the south end of Seacoast Drive. Along Seacoast, south of IB Boulevard, is actually where you're gonna find, you might be able to get a condo, oceanfront condo, for under $1 million. And that just doesn't happen anywhere else in San Diego. So if you're looking for oceanfront living for under $1 million, you might still have a shot in Imperial Beach. Here we are at the southern end of Seacoast Boulevard, and that's the most southwesterly unit in the United States outside of Hawaii. And it's the little details like this. You have a pull-up bar at the end of the street, so you can go for a run, do some pull-ups, incorporate it into your workout, and then carry on with your day. Make this a great place for active living. Here we are at the beach, and as you can see, there's nobody in sight all the way down. If you can walk down a few hundred yards that way, we're at the Tijuana River outlet, so where the estuary and the ocean connect. And further down yonder, you can see Mexico. Now, something about being in a border city, granted Mexico is a few miles that way, is you're going to see Border Patrol down here. You're going to see quads patrolling occasionally, and that's just a fact, a matter of life in living in a border city. It happens in San Diego too, in many areas as well. Just FYI. Now, as I'm down here on South Seacoast, you'll see there is a lot of sand on the streets, and this isn't as bad as it gets sometimes. When you have king tides down here, the extra big tides that oftentimes you'll have waves that just kind of push all the way in and you'll get the street partially flooded. You'll see a lot more. Now, we just pulled up to one of my favorite spots in IB, and this is the Bikeway Village. Let's go check it out. So what the Bikeway Village is it's a couple of repurposed warehouses. And this happened a few years ago, and it's a really cool concept, actually. It's right here at the north end of IB on the bay, and you had two big warehouses, and they got a partial grant, I believe, for some of it from the city or San Diego Association of Organizations or whatever. But they repurposed the old warehouses, and now they have a brewing company, Novo Brazil Brewing Company. They've got a coffee shop, they've got a gym, they've got jiu-jitsu. They have an event center here so people can have weddings. And I mean, it's got views straight across the bay to downtown. But why the name Bikeway Village? Well, we are at the halfway point at the southernmost part of the Bayshore Bikeway. And the Bayshore Bikeway is basically a U-shaped loop bike path, about 24 miles, goes down the east and west sides of the San Diego Bay. And then if you really want to make it in a complete circuit, you can take a ferry across from Coronado to downtown or vice versa. So this is the halfway point. So when they have Ironman or cycling events, this is a great spot for staging, for stopping for refreshments. Originally, they were supposed to have a hostel here. I don't think that came through, and I think that's where Novo Brazil Brewing is now. But then in addition to that, you've got a place to take some walks in nature, look at some more of the migratory bird flocks as they come through here, and just take in the view of downtown San Diego. Have a beer at Novo Brazil, get some rolls in at the jiu-jitsu place, whatever it is. Another thing about the Bayshore Bikeway is this is just a great running trail. And when we lived down in Imperial Beach, I ran my first half marathon when I lived down here because it was just so easy for me to get out of my house, go walk out to the Silver Strand, and then just start running. And I'd run up to Coronado or take a bike ride up to Coronado, sometimes at 11 p.m. on a summer night, and just riding right there down the bikeway with the bay on one side and the ocean on the other side, and the summer air and the salty breeze. It's a beautiful experience. So it's one of those cool things that really adds to the lifestyle experience of living in Imperial Beach. Also, my favorite coffee company, Trident Coffee, is in the Bayshore Bikeway Village. So we're gonna check it out. All right, so I got my favorite cold brew, and I got one more place to take you really quick. And real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you like this sort of content, learning about San Diego real estate or just different communities in Southern California and what it's like living there, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next videos as they come out. Also, if you're looking for a real estate professional to help you find your place in Southern California, let's talk. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We've helped lots of buyers find their dream home in Southern California, and we'd love to help you do the same. Reach out anyway via the contact information below, and let's get the ball rolling. All right, guys, we made it. We made it all the way to the International Friendship Park here at the southwest corner of the continental United States. And although it might seem like it's pretty close, you have the entire estuary and outlet between us and Imperial Beach proper. So to get here from proper Imperial Beach, it was about a 20-minute drive to the Border State Field Park hiking trailhead, and then about another 1.5 mile hike out here. Overall, this isn't something that you're going to be coming to very often as a Imperial Beach resident. In fact, this is my first time all the way down here. And you can see right on the other side of this is Mexico. It's an interesting spot, a complete contrast of worlds. You have the United States here and Mexico right behind me. And Imperial Beach, all the way up there. It's quite a trek away. But this is technically part of Imperial Beach. You have to cross through some parts of San Diego to get here. If you're looking for the most southwestern corner of the United States, this is it. Let's see if anybody here wants to talk, have a little conversation. Y ahí, ¿qué pasa, amigo? Poquito.
Te invitamos.
Sí. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Saludos desde México, desde Tijuana.
Lo invitamos a Michoacán.
Los queremos en Michoacán y en México.
Adiós.
Dios te bendiga, mi hermano. Dios te bendiga mucho.
Gracias.
Nice to meet you too.
Have a great day. Ciao. People, of course, are very friendly. So this is a place, you know, you can go meet people, meet family that are in Mexico. It's a pretty unique place in that regards. Now, of course, if you want to go to Mexico, if you're maybe commuting a lot or you like to travel a lot to Mexico, the Tijuana airport's not too far away, and you can get the CBX, the cross-border pass. You park on the US side, you walk across, and you're directly inside the airport. That's a really quick way of traveling, and often tickets are far cheaper to go to Mexican or even some, I think, South American destinations. So it's a cool option for living in Imperial Beach. And now you've just about seen most of what Imperial Beach is. So if you like this sort of content and you like learning about different parts of San Diego real estate, or just what it's like living in Southern California, be sure to give a thumbs up and a follow. If you have any questions or you're looking for your place in San Diego and you want help finding it, give us a call, shoot us a text. This is our specialty, helping you find the right place for you. And if you have any feedback about Imperial Beach or anywhere else in San Diego, leave your input below. Love to hear from you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.